Hello everyone, it's me, Andy, and today me and Underman are reviewing and making fun of Turning Red. Yeah, let's just get into it. So to start off, I absolutely hate the first 15 minutes of this movie. They are so cringy, terrible, and just awful. The narration scenes are so bad. Just the fact that they bothered to just make it like the characters actually talking in universe instead of just being in the head narration. I didn't think narration could get any worse. The scenes with the friends are bad too. Like, honestly, none of them are charming except for maybe the one in like the green flannel. That one was okay, I guess, but really she's the only somewhat redeemable character of this entire cast. The scenes with the mom and the reveal scene in the store are both equally as terrible. Like, the mom is possibly my least favorite character in this entire movie throughout, and really it just stays that way. And the reveal scene is so terrible. Like, they could have done this in an easily better way to make it more watchable but still cringe inducing, but no, they decided to make it a terrible scene that's also cringe inducing, and it just makes me want to skip the entire movie. And if I weren't doing this review, I would just not watch the movie after that point whatsoever. This just has to be quite possibly the worst start to a Pixar movie I've ever seen, and that's saying a lot because Cars 2 exists, and that movie's pretty much universally hated. And on top of all of this garbage, none of the jokes are funny. Literally zero of them. In fact, I think that every time they throw a joke in a scene, it makes the scene actively worse than if they were just serious in the scene. And this goes for the beginning narration scenes. In fact, the jokes there are actively worse. The most 0 out of 10 start to a movie ever. And I don't like the nightmare scene either. It's just so bad. The 10 minutes that lead up to the comfort and lore scenes are still mostly bad, but there are some mediocre scenes in those 10 minutes. And the comfort and lore scenes are like okay. And by okay, I mean that they're better than everything else in this movie so far. And even like at this point, it's like way leagues below something like Soul, an actually good movie that you should like actually watch. And the next 20 minutes are serviceable. There's nothing good or bad about them really, except for the scene where they sing the Four Town song, which I dislike and hate with a passion. I remember that scene, and it's so trailer fodder that it hurts. I wrote that I wrote in the script that it was like, better, but it's not. I hate this scene. It's such trailer fodder. Oh yeah, and then I finally laughed a joke 50 minutes into the movie. This movie just really feels like an Illumination level movie, which is just inoffensive mediocrity. I say inoffensive mediocrity, but not really at this point. It's getting worse and worse by the minute. And all that's really missing from this movie is just some relevant pop song. The next 20 minutes are good and contain generic Pixar emotional scenes. Only, unlike the other Pixar emotional scenes, these ones are very skippable and not that good. Even Cars has a better emotional scene than this movie, and that's kinda sad seeing as how Cars is seen by most people. On the upside though, everything leading up to the climax is good enough, and the climax is great. It's way better than everything else in this movie by far, and I like it. I especially love the ethereal plane scene. It shows growth in all the characters. It's a really great scene. I also like the ending and its meaning, but yeah, overall this movie was just bad. It says mediocre in the script, but no, it was bad. I really hated all the scenes that called it puberty and frankly all the puberty references throughout the movie that people just actively saw and were like, this sucks. And honestly, they were just the scenes that referred to it as puberty, and all the puberty related scenes were the worst of the movie. And on top of that, the first 15 minutes were easily the worst among the entire movie, and easily the worst I've seen from Pixar, and are on the level of like the worst of Illumination movies, which is hard to do for other 3D animation studios. And along with that, the movie really struggled to increase its quality after those 15 minutes, and when it finally increased enough of an amount, the movie was already close to over. Easily the worst of Pixar's entire lineup for me. 3 out of 10. However, this review is not over. Without further ado, here is Underman's review of this movie.
Now that you've heard Andy's part, I'm here to shit on movies. I won't be as nice as Andy because frankly, I fucking hate this movie. First of all, listen to me explain this movie completely out of context. A queer girl turns into a panda when on her period. This is something her family has known about and actively does not warn her about. They have a ritual that traps the spirit of the panda in a pendant. This can only happen on a red moon. Until the red moon occurs, she's forced into isolation, where her queer besties find her and hug her until she's no longer a period monster. She gets invited to a concert by her friends, but that night is a red moon, so she can't go to the concert. She's transitioning back into a normal human, but then decides, fuck you, these are my pronouns and you will accept it, mom. She attempts to leave and go to the concert in full period panda mode. Her family tries to stop her. She throws them away, causing the pendant to break, making her mother turn into your girlfriend when you cheat on her in a dream. Now that you've heard a quick summary of the movie, excluding the final battle, which is what I will touch on now, do you think that was written by a sane person? Or some furry that was way too high? It's okay, because the worst part is still yet to come. At the very end, we have a final battle. This is what Andy called the best part of the movie. This is what I'll call the worst part of the movie.
Yeah, I should probably cut in here to say that I probably should have been more specific in my part of the review, as I call both what I'm going to call the emotional climax, aka the emotional scene after the fight scene, and the fight scene, which I'll call the physical climax, the climax, because that's essentially what it was as a whole. I should say here that I loved the emotional climax and hated pretty much most of the physical climax. Like, I'm pretty sure there were like 1, maybe 2 parts in that entire part of that physical climax that I actually enjoyed, and the emotional climax I really enjoyed. It showed growth and all that, and yeah, but as a whole, it's the climax of the movie, and still my favorite scene part of this shit movie, quite frankly.
So, in this final battle, they're trying to get this mother into a massive-ass ritual circle.
I like gyrating!
Once they get the fucking ritual circle down, the girl has to get her mother in it somehow, huh? Now, how would you do this? Not by running in a certain direction or any of the normal movie tropes. No. To make this movie more TikTok friendly, the panda, the child panda furry, starts twerking. And her mother is so disgusted that she cowers in fear and falls backwards into the circle. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the hell? Why does this movie exist? What is this movie's purpose? Why? Why? So, Pixar goes, we've had a few bad movies, right? We did the Good Dinosaur. They did The Good Dinosaur. We did a few other movies, right? We went out there, did a few other movies, did a few good movies, like Toy Story 4. We were going strong. Fuck it, let's make a movie about a panda that twerks to get her mother in a circle so that the ritual can complete.
And ending on that lovely note, that is the end of this Turning Red review. Thanks to Underman for hopping on this review and giving his own opinions.
Like it's happy Halloween, everybody's in a mask. You will never fucking see true intentions what you ask. Cause the honest fucking truth is no matter what you ask, they will fucking lie to you, cause to them you were just trash. Lying to your face no matter who you fucking are, hiding behind the truth of all these mutilated bars. Everything is so fake and just inflated with talks. You know it's bad but the only ones you can trust are porn stars.